So, not open in that regard.
I actually don't know too much about these teams, and I thought it was going to be like a BSG clan war, but it turns out they've actually got some really good players that I didn't know.
We do indeed. Well, Probe gets around a bit. Probe's also, part of MGG. So.
Yeah, Probe was at ACL, I think. I don't think I got to meet him, actually. Which is kind of sad. There's a lot of people at ACL that I don't think I got to meat. There's so many people.
I'm still suffering the wrath of people who are, why wasn't I at ACL? I was like, well, it's in TI3. Anyway, let's introduce our players down at the bottom right-hand side. As our Blue Protoss player, he won the previous game with a bit of a DT play. We'll see if he's going to go along that path again this time. It is SNX Zinaku.
And in the top left, spawning in the red, dropping a pylon, it is his opponent, Ecko Probe. And yeah, apparently there's an all-kill coming. That's what the chat says.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's in Twitch chats, it's either, just terrible people talking about stupid stuff, or it's people talking about Probe giving an all-kill. Apparently, he is an all-kill master. We'll find out if he's going to go down that direction here tonight, as our players are, it looks as if we're just going to go very standard. Yeah, gateways coming out from both. Of course, Belshir, a map which we are going to be keeping in Season 5 of the StarCraft 2 ladder, which also means that it will be a part of WCS Season 3. A map which has had a little bit of contention regarding some of these particular placements of pylons over here and the cannons that you can throw down and all these kinds of things, but not too much of an issue in PvP. But do you reckon this map has still got legs to stick around for another season, Fenner? For all matchups, I mean?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent map. It's kind of like the standard map now, like Daybreak was a while ago. So if it's going to stick around like Daybreak was, it's going to be around for quite a while. So I think this is a pretty decent map for all matchups. Actually, what do you think of the new maps? Have you had a chance to play them yet?
I've played a couple. I've been cannon rushing people, so my opinion doesn't really count right now. I do really like the look of Frost, though. Frost looks like a lot of fun. Actually, sorry, I just actually played a PvT on, I believe it's the Yonsu map, the two-player map. Yeah, where I had a Terran try and double proxy Marauder behind the rocks that are just at the natural base. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was my interesting little game on that particular map. In fact, both the PvTs I've had on that map, the Terrans have cheesed me, so that was quite interesting. But I don't know, I really like the look of them. And I do like that Blizzard are really actually adding quite a few of these new maps that aren't made by Blizzard to the map pool. And not to say that they're just absolutely terrible map makers and they should all just go and retire. But I mean, I think it's really good because there's a whole community of map makers out there, and unfortunately a couple of the big groups have now retired, especially TPW have recently retired. All of those guys will close down. But I mean, I think.
Did TPW do Ohana? I think they did.
I believe so, yeah. So, it's been, it's good to see that they are adding in those kinds of things. So there was a cancel on a building back here. I believe that was a Twilight Council, but now Zinaku has decided to wait until Probe is gone and has now started up the Twilight Council. I'm not actually sure if that is a second one or not, because I know he cancelled something, but I didn't actually see it. I was ranting.
Oh, he's denying the scout here from Zinaku. So it's the same build from Probe that Tazarenix... Oh, is he going to see that pylon? Yeah, he's going to find that pylon. It's the same build from Probe that Tazarenix went for last game, and I do believe that Zinaku just saw at least 2 Stalkers, so he should have some good idea of what's going on right now. He's trying to sneak into the Probe out as well. That's going to try and sneak around to the right, but it looks like Probe might actually find that Probe. Is it going to get through? It's going to get through. Does he see it? No. Oh, he goes the wrong way.
Wow. Turns around, and that is possibly the mistake that may change the fate of this game. But there is a hallucinated Phoenix that's going to head across the map to try and scout out what Probe is up to. I think we can see for the moment that it is going to be a DT versus DT battle here on Belshir Vestige. We've got the extra gateways now going up for Zinaku, so he's going to have his own extra little bit of production. His Dark Shrine is quite a ways further ahead of Probe right now. As we can see, Probe is probably lagging behind by around about it's around about 20 seconds or so. So we'll see what happens here. As both these players just sort of jockeying for position outside the base here of Zanaku.
So DT versus DT, how is this going to go down? Because actually both players going for a robo straight after as well, so maybe they've got some idea what's going on. So maybe both players will get the observer out fast enough that they can deal with this. But as you said, Boz and Aku are going to be coming out a lot faster. Even though there is no pylon on the map, so it's going to take a long time for them to get across the map. There are pylons on the map for Probe, so his DTs can get in really fast. I think the pylon advantage there will allow Probe's DTs to get in a lot faster than Zanaku's.
Is this basically going to be the DT versus DT can be a very binary kind of situation where you only have the two real results? Is that each player just totally destroys the other's mineral line, or takes out some of their pylons really that are sort of powering their production, those kinds of things, or absolutely nothing will happen? I think we're going to get the latter option here, as both players.
Oh, the observer just popped.
Yeah, just
as
popped
the
out.
DT walks up.
And is taken out. So yeah, so part one is done right now, and as we can see, Probe is just sort of moving ahead at his natural. The DT comes along, can see the expansion has gone down, but interestingly, the observer for Probe is actually all the way across the opposite side of the map. Where is his other one? I think.
Yeah, but he's got a second one that
there
just
it is,
popped
yeah.
out, so he's going to be.
Out, so.
I think he saw the Blair as well. That's why he's going behind the mineral line. Well, he doesn't find it though. Zanako just sneaking it up there on that little ledge. He's going to be able to keep that alive. He'll probably move that in later on. It'll probably do a lot of damage if Probe doesn't find it real soon.
Yeah, it's a really good tactic for anyone who's sort of still, ranking themselves up with Protoss. If you are using DTs, you don't necessarily have to kill 7,000 probes straight up. What you can do is just sort of, even if you have the DTs around as an option, they're very, very strong, powerful units. Send them in when a battle is going on and your opponent doesn't know that they're, inside the mineral line or something. And yeah, exactly what Zanaku's doing right here. Send it inside when you've drawn your opponent out of position, and this DT could certainly get some damage done.
Yeah, let's see how many kills he can get. He's going into the mineral now. 1 kill, 2 kill, and there goes the Pro Pull. The Observer's going to come back now, and he shouldn't get any more kills. He's going to work on that. Just 0 damage to that Immortal. Just takes 1 off the shields. But it's still, this is a pretty big Pro Pull. There's so much mineral time, mining time that he's losing right now. Just this 1 DT, and that Immortal's going to end up killing it off. But that was a lot of mining time to lose for Probe, all whilst Zanaku was mining for himself.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you kind of have to resolve yourself to in DT versus DT games, especially when both players really, quality level players that know that something was up, so they've got detection and all these kinds of things. You just have to resign yourself to the fact that, well, I made him pull all the probes off the mineral line, and that did cost Probe about, I think it was around about 300 or 400 minerals per minute there that was cut off. So that's certainly better than just running a DT into an observer and dying or something like that. So. But both the players now moving across, checking out the third bases. It looks as if we will get the expansion from Zanaku pretty quickly here. Takes out the probe, the pylon, which does allow Probe to recognize that the expansion is going down, and he's going to be able to throw his own expansion down in just a moment.
Yeah, both players going for the third expansion, so we're going to be going for a bit of a macro game here. Both players getting a lot of Immortals in the composition. That's going to help out a lot with the Stalkers. And then they're probably going to go into some Archon play as well, as both players are going for the charge and throwing down the Templar Archives as well now. Get that Archon, get the Storms, and does massive damage against any kind of ground composition that, well, basically anyone can have. But there is, if you look at Probe's composition here, it's 3 Immortals and 3 Stalkers. Storms don't do too much to Immortals, and there's not much else for Probe out there. There's actually a DT on the third base here trying to kill Zanaku's third base. It's probably not going to get too much done. The Observer's coming along now, and it's going to be able to work on that DT. Yeah, he's going to go down, but kind of annoying. And there's a Stalker sneaking out for Zanaku as well. He's going to try and find that third base.
It's just wanting to double check, because there was actually a moment of, I'm not sure whether it was hesitation or if Probe was busy trying to send that DT across the map, but his third Nexus is a lot later than it should have been. He should have had this down and possibly finishing very, very soon, but he was actually a little bit late to that particular party here. And that does mean that his third base is going to be a little bit delayed. But as you mentioned before, upgrades and immortals are the big keys here for both of these players. As you start to move into mid to late game PvP...
Oh, dropping the main. Doing a lot of damage there, taking down the cannon. And he's got the Nexus cannon on there, but still, there's a lot of units here. It's actually hard to make out. We've got Black Zealots versus White Zealots, and they're chasing them down. It's not going to get too much done though. That Nexus cannon helping out a lot. That DT did get taken down as well. And yeah, they're going to get cleaned up. Bit of mining time lost, but overall not too much damage done.
Yeah, really good drop there. Just to sit around and be really annoying here is Pro, and that's a really good part of what he's doing, right? We're going to drop in the 2 extra DTs. Will we be able to get something done? It looks like the answer is maybe a single Zealot kill. No?
Oh, but the cannon isn't up yet, so they can do a lot of damage trying to get work on these probes here. As you can see, the worker saturation is down to 11. The cannon does finish now. How many probes can he get? There's a lot going down. That's about 7 probes he just killed right there. And he does move a couple of probes from somewhere else. So actually, where are the rest of the probes? He says he's got 13 on there, but it doesn't look like 13 to me. Yeah, there they come.
So yeah, it's sort of moving into that stage where the big power units come out. As you mentioned before, the Archons, the Immortals, all coming across. We've now got +2 to weapons, just finishing up for Probe in just a moment as well. +2 to armor has also finished up for Zanaku. He's gone for a very heavy upgrade-centric style here, with its 3-3 already on the way. So this could factor in as... especially weapons in PvP is a very big upgrade because it really helps out with things like your Immortals, like your Colossi, and your Archons, which all get a huge damage boost from the weapon upgrades out of the forges.
Yeah, some great scouting from Zanaku going here, just 3 hallucinated Phoenix, checking every single base. He's going to see the exact composition from Probe, and he's going to be able to change his composition up to deal with that. And the upgrades for Zanaku are massive compared to Probe right now, since he has got that double forge, and I don't think Probe's actually started his second forge, so he's just going to be relying on the weapon upgrades without the armor upgrades. We've got this drop going off again. DT's going into mirror line, but there is a cannon there. There's also some units in the third base as well, but once again, that cannon in the mirror line getting a lot done. Great force field on that cannon as well. Will it go down to Zealot? Oh, it's going to go down to Zealot, and now that Zealot's going to be able to get a couple of Probe kills. Army's coming, and there we go. Probe's just going to finish it off.
Zanaku has done that each time. He's thrown down a force field to try and save the cannon, and that's really impressive stuff to be able to get that down. He's just got, as we can see, this little hero sentry sitting down in the back of his main mineral line. I think he also had one. He did have one in the natural and also the third, but 2 of those are both gone right now. But Pro still continuing to be very threatening out the backside of the natural and the third base. We can see a couple of Archons just morphing in here, but we'll see if that Warp Prism is going to drop in and have some more fun.
Yeah, there's something interesting about this game. Both players gone super heavy on the Immortal counts. It's generally something I don't see in a PvP. Generally, you either see Colossi or Archons, but the Immortal count is usually like 3 or 4, but up to 8, that seems a bit insane. What's going on there?
It's kind of I haven't actually seen it much myself. I think I've seen it once before at a kind of a high level, not sort of counting, random people who would just get a bajillion Immortals because they can. But I think it's just sort of a way of, if someone starts Colossus, then the Immortals are going to obliterate them because you're going to have more firepower from the Immortals. Because generally speaking, Immortals are actually really, really good. Especially when there are Colossus battles, but it's kind of just strange that neither of these guys has even gotten a single Colossus. We've just gone Archons, we've gone Immortals. Yeah. Imagine if there was a Terran here, he'd have a field day with some EMPs, because it would be perfect for this kind of battle. But we'll see what's going to happen, because as we can see, the 3-3 is just finishing up now for Zanaku. He's starting to move across the map, wants to get into position. He's going to look at pushing at this 4th base. And his own 4th base is in a much better position. I really like this base instead of that side base that Probe is taking. But we'll see what happens here as they look to battle over the top of the cliff just outside the 4th. We can see now that Zanaku is just
this is going to be it. It's 3-3 against 0-3, and this is it. A lot of Archons at the back for Zanaku, though. They're not doing a lot of damage. Probe's unit's in a lot better position. He's He's trying to move the Immortals back to let the Archon through, but they just can't get through. But there's just too many units and too many good upgrades for Zanarkoo. He's going to be able to push through, trying to run away with these Immortals. That Time Warp is stopping them. 4 Time Warps down on the battlefield, and it looks like Zanarkoo is going to be able to push through. There's not much left for Probe right now. He's going to be able to move down this ramp and take down this 4th base.
That is just going to be complete obliteration here. Probe has got no real recourse in terms of saving this base, not to mention possibly even saving the game.
GG.
Dancing his Immortals, and GG comes out of Probe in game number 2. So Zanarkoo doing a wonderful job here for Seraphic Nexus as he takes a 2-game streak right now, having a wonderful time in PvP so far. And well, yeah, I mean, that was a really weird sort of composition that we got to see there. Just sort of mass Immortals and Archons, and it was kind of a battle of the positioning. We saw Zanarkoo just sort of moving up to the side, up to the high ground there. Some of his Archons were stuck behind, but as you mentioned, the 3-3 just
so I think it's mostly about the upgrades there. Even though the position was not the best for Zanarkoo, he still pulled through with the upgrades, because there's like 3 or 4 Archons at the back just wobbling around, not doing much at all.
Yeah.